Alright, Ben and Aidan, I'm going to try to show you guys the early game play for the main scenario, A New Home. So you can customize your scenarios, this top slider that represents the overall difficulty, but you can also like try to adjust difficulty on an individual basis, but for now we're just going medium because that's the default difficulty. And you can start in survivor mode, which means, there's no active pause. You can't press space to like pause everything. Everything will keep going. So yeah, so we're just gonna start off a new home. I'm just gonna show off like early game material. Try to get you guys' city up and running without too many faults, so then you can get ready for the mid to late game. So while this thing loads, yeah. So Frostpunk is fun. I like Frostpunk. We'll just skip this intro, and we'll do what we have to survive. So, intro, fight the code. So I would suggest you to pause immediately, and then I'm just going to give you some heads up. So up here will be your resources. This thing represents the overall temperature, negative 20 degrees Celsius. Is actually pretty good for now, but it will get extremely, extremely cold. These things are like your normal, like pause, normal game speed, fast game speed, and very fast. If you click on this icon, this little temperature icon here, you get to see like the temperature of the icon of like the area. So red means comfortable. It prevents people from falling ill. Yeah, livable is yellow, which means they have a very, very, very low chance of falling ill, but that should not really happen. Greenish blue means chilly. People could, technically live like that, but it's highly advised you don't let them live like that because they will fall ill. Cold, moderate risk falling ill, that's pretty bad. Very cold, pretty bad. And then freezing is like really, really, really bad. So these three are fine. I would not recommend chili, but these three are like avoid at all costs. So those are our people, tiny people. So let me pause. Down here will be your quests and stuff. Sometimes they want you to do something and then you can follow up. If you do a promise, which we will get to that soon, it will pop up here. This icon here is coal. It tells you how much coal you have. This icon here is wood, how much wood, steel, steam cores, raw food, and food rations. So we're going to go start with this first. So for the early game, which I'll be covering today, coal and wood will be the more important of the resources. That does not mean steel does not come up, but that's more of a mid to late game thing, or even like early mid to late game thing. And then steam cores are a mid to late game thing. Steam cores, you don't worry about them right now in early game, but once you get to late game, they will be very, very important. Like you will create an outpost, and that outpost would be designated for steam cores. Here we have raw food and food rations. So the math is 2 raw foods make up 4 regular food rations. But if you go to your laws, you can pass laws regarding it. So if you pass the soup law, for every 2 raw foods, you make 5 food rations. But every time people eat soup, they will be unhappy. They will cause discontent, which we'll get to that. Food additives means you can take 2 raw foods and make 6 food rations, but there is a small chance people will fall ill. Usually when I do my playthroughs, I do soups because I can handle discontent. Illness is not really something I want to deal with, even though it creates more food. So I'll sign this law later, but for now, soup is probably what I would go for. And so down here, so now we got everything. Now we got everything up here. I want to show you guys down here. I mean, this area here. So this is the weather forecast. It tells you what day you're on, which will be important, and it will tell you what's going on later. Like, so this is day 2, day 3, day 4, I think. And then if you see a blue icon that like drops down, that shows you that temperature will drop. So every 2 levels is 10 degrees Celsius. So once it reaches here, it will drop to negative 40 degrees Celsius. The economy. So at the end of the day, this is a city management game, which means you have to manage resources and your economy. These will tell you about the input you have and the output you have. So coal management. This thing would tell you which buildings consume and which buildings create coal, but this is the more important thing. It tells you how much coal will be gained and how much coal will be consumed. If you consume more coal than you have gained, you'll see like a little red bar. if you gain more coal than you consume, you have a little green bar, and it's good to always have a surplus. Wood, steel, food processing. Food processing is kind of the same thing as coal management. It tells you how much food rations you make and how much food is eaten. So basically every day one person eats one food ration. So we starve 8 people, we eat 80 food rations. Early game, your people will go hungry for a bit. Just make sure they don't go starving, but it's okay for now if they go a bit hungry. And this is your 6 status and housing conditions. You usually use housing conditions to like find out the number of houses you have, or tents, or bunkhouses, or whatever. But generally, when you look at the economy section, the coal and food processing are the 2 more important tabs that you'll be looking at the most. Laws, like I just showed you. So for now, for early game, we have adaptation. Adaptation allows you to create laws that either manage people's happiness, manage people's discontent, or manage your resources more effectively. So what we have here is basically managing resources versus people's happiness. So you can either have child labor, which allows children to be sent off to work. For now, it's just safe jobs. That falls like low. Like people don't really like that. So if you want people happy, you would sign child shelters, which allow children to be in shelters so they don't get sick. It's a safe place for them to be at. Usually in my runs, I go with child shelter because it leads to because if you see these fork in the roads, it kind of depends on which of these laws you have. So if you sign a law that like kind of the half, it blocks the other one. So let's say if I sign child labor, I would block out child shelters. I mean, I can't sign that, or I can't go back and sign it, and that kind of blocks off this pathway. You see fork in the road, it kind of depends on which law you pass. So I passed one law, and then yeah, so if I pass child labor safe laws, I would unlock this, which I can sign in the next time I do it. And child shelters, it goes down here. Yeah, blah, blah. Now, for early game, what I usually do is I like to sign emergency shift because I don't really use emergency shift myself too much, but it's the extended shift that we want to go for. So we'll just sign this for now. We're going to keep this at pause. So even though that does raise discontent, we will be able to fix that. Any red icons, that means people here. So beginning. So we're actually going to start beginning this. So you see all these piles. They're kind of finite, but they're good for just getting yourself started because, you start with jack shit. No coal, no wood. So while you could, put workers there and do that, what I like to do is I like to use gathering posts. So you see that little circle? That's the radius of which the gathering post will gather resources. So I like to put it as close to the city as I can to save on the wood because you need wood to make paths, and paths are connecting to your generator. So you want to get as much piles as you can within here. So I'll just put that right there. And then when you place down a building, if you see this gray icon with this city thing, that means it's not connected and nothing is being built. So you would go to construction, look to this icon, build street, and then you can click, move your mouse, and then move it to the generator. And then it will turn red, which means the street is under construction. So instead of having to spend 45 people to get all these piles, because 15, 15, 15, once I build this, not only will I only have to spend 10 people I only have to spend 10 people to this gathering post to get these piles, but it also provides heat because instead of being out in the open gathering these steel cold, chilly, it will be comfortable because building insulation. Also, yes, keep track of this. So when you click on a building or anything, keep track of this because it will tell you the temperature. Chilly is not that great, but people can live with it. Livable is what you're kind of aim for, and comfortable is pretty good. Anything lower than that, lower than chilly, and I would suggest you do something about that immediately. But for now, we're just gonna create this gathering post. So for now, since this accepts 10 people and we don't really have enough resources to do anything else, we can just spend the other people to do other chores. So we'll put 15 people there, 15 they were there, and then we'll put some people at the coal. Also, workers and engineers. All right, let's talk about workers and engineers. Workers handle more blue-collar labor. Engineers handle more white-collar labor. So coal piles can be housed by anyone because we just need hands, but effectively there would be other types of buildings and jobs that require specific workers or specific engineers. So if you have a medical post, that can only be staffed by engineers. If you have a hunter's post, that can only be staffed by workers. It's just good to understand what's going on here. This middle thing tells you how much of the resource is left, and then how much is being extracted per hour. Here you can put workers, all this stuff, and here you can click on that, and people will work for the next 24 hours on it. It causes discontent, and that's okay, but there's something that happens if you do it twice. Well, like not twice in the same thing, but like if you use emergency shift twice, something bad will happen. And for my run, I'm trying to do like no deaths, or like not no deaths, but like 2 deaths. I usually do 2 deaths because they're more story based, but I don't want people to die to the temperatures and shit. So again, I'm gonna take 10 people out here, and then see, it only requires 10 people, efficiency 100, and yeah, and livable. So when people work, this temperature usually goes up because, you know, people's body heat creates heat, and then it goes the temperature up. Efficiency represents how efficient they do the work. The higher this is, the more resources they bring back, or the faster things are done, all sorts of stuff. As you can see, there will be gathering steel and wood, because there's 2 wood and 1 steel wreckage, and then coal. So now we have wood, which is good. So we're gonna put a gathering post here. I like to like try to stretch it, see how close I can make it here. But for now, I think this is the best we can come. So I'm gonna put mine right there. Wow, the steel, well, sucks to suck, but again, this is early game, we don't need to worry about steel. Now you can like put it here. For me, while I usually like to do this because I like to save space around my generator, we'll just do it for here for now, just for simplicity for you guys. So yes, you saw that there was a gray icon, but now it's a red icon because now we're building a thing. Yeah, we're building a road. The generator. So for the first day, I like to turn the generator off. Like just for the first day, I like to keep the generator off because, you know, it just helps save on that tiny bit of coal. You never know how much coal will work. So yeah, people are just working on their stuff. You know, we got some people working on wood and coal. So at the very, very early game, wood is the most important thing to me. But soon later, like very soon later, coal will be more important because coal keeps you up and running. And if your generator turns off around like mid to late game, that probably means you fucked up somewhere, and it will lead to a butterfly effect where the generator turns off and then things stop working and people start getting sick. More people sick means less workforce, and it's pretty bad. So always make sure you keep an eye on coal. So yeah, so now it's free time. People don't work 24 hours unless you like use emergency shift. People work a designated time. So for the regular shift, it's 8 to 18. And then if you see this icon, that means an event goes on, and you kind of have to address it. So we're gonna click on this. Now this is a promise. So if there's something going on, people will ask for you to do something about it. So now we have a housing problem because I did not build tents. Now, usually it comes with 3 things. 1, you can make a small promise like, hey, I'll do shelter for 40 people, which is represented by this, like, well, usually if it has 1 exclamation mark, that means the effect will be, you know, minor. If it has, and then, so that's usually like the first option. The second option is like a bigger promise, like I'll do something for more people, or I'll improve upon this. And usually, not always, but usually it has 3 exclamation marks, which means it has a bigger impact. Or you can put down, I want to address this right now, which means you don't make any promises, but discontent does go up. So I wasn't paying attention to my wood, but since it looks like triple digits, I'll make a big promise and I'll provide shelter for everyone. So here is the promise, you know, provide shelter for everyone. So yeah, we have enough wood. So the rule of thumb is each tent requires 10 wood. Like that, yeah. So you can just like, so I usually like to save my space within the generator for housing, or for where people live, because the generator creates heat, and it's important for the people that sleep, because, you know, if you freeze to death in your house, that's not good. So we'll put one generator here. But to make the most efficient of our space, because I can't really place a tent like this, I will just make a path here that goes here, just so we make more efficient use of our space. So with that done, I'm gonna take away that, and then we're going to place more tents around that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Yeah, that's probably 8. Oh, question. Heating is off, yeah. So it's free time, so I will turn on the generator on. So here on, and as you can see here, this is what it looks like. So coal consumption is the arrow represented down here, and coal gain is the arrow represented up here. So we have, since there's a green bar, that means we are making a surplus, which is good. Advice of the crowd, yeah. So people usually ask you for the quickest, not the best. So you could be having a plan which requires people to suffer a bit, but usually you can just say no or I will address this, blah blah. But if you do make a promise, I suggest you address it, because if you break the promise, it will have a heavy impact on your discontent and hope. Hope and discontent. Make sure you keep these up. Hope is things you do good, and discontent means is things you do bad. You do not want this to fill up. You do not want this to fall down. So we're just getting everything set up. You know, we have some people working here. I'll be mindful about this. So we have one steam core, and I should probably make a cookhouse. So for now, I know you guys like to make hunter's huts first thing, but for now, since we have a good amount of raw food, we'll just make a cookhouse for now. So yeah, we're just building everything, and yeah, so yeah, the generator does circular heating, and that's what it looks like. So that's why I always like putting my okay, I need to work on my let me just like get this out of the way here. There we go. Yeah, so I like putting my residential houses here. You see that I didn't really put anything there, and that's because I'm gonna reserve that for a medical station, because we got one person sick. Oh great, I hate that. So we'll just put 5 people there, and now now the cookhouse. So the cookhouse is how you turn raw foods into food rations. People won't eat raw foods unless they're like really starving, but it's better to make it into food rations. So as we see here, cookhouse will produce 4 food rations for 2 raw food. That's the standard meal, but you can always make it to like soups or food additives, which you know, more bang for your buck, but people aren't happy. So when you pass a law, there'll be a cooldown, and I would suggest in the early game you try to pass as much laws as you can. So with that done, usually I like to do extended shifts. I love extended shifts, even though it causes discontent when you make them work overtime. The more they work, the more resources you get. So we're gonna sign this into law, extended shifts, and yeah, that's a cooldown. So now you can go onto a workspace like this, like a gathering post, and you can see here that you can change it from the regular shift to the extended shift, which is 4 hours extra. So I would be doing that for that, and I'll get to that soon enough. So I generally do not like people. I do not like having people work in the piles, because you know it's cold as shit. So the gathering post is the best. Yeah. So yeah, it's a controversial law, so it went up, and when you have people work overtime, it does have a permanent effect on your discontent. But if you put it down, it will reverse it. So do what you have to do. But for now, we're starting out early game. We're bleeding on resources. So overtime, thank you. So now we could just like rest back, you know, let things happen. You know, people have tents. So as you can see, temperature is comfortable, which is the highest level, and that is good. Prevents falling ill. Livable, very, very low risk, but livable is just fine. Don't worry. Now we got sick people. Fuck. Now people get sick for you know, cold places, or if they're forced to sleep outside. And I think it was because there was a certain moment where I didn't have all my houses built at nighttime, so that's why some people got sick. Now they're just regular sick, it's fine. But once they get gravely sick, that's when you should start worrying. But I would open up a medical post soon enough, which I need 25 wood for. So you know, let them work, and then here we have enough resources for a medical post. So medical post requires 25 wood. We'll just slap it right there, you know, with the heating, so it gets heated as well. And each medical post can hold up to 5 patients, which is good enough. But a law that I love is radical. Well, not okay. I do radical treatment, so then we don't have a burden on the medical post. But what I like to do is overcrowding, which, you know, you add more people to your medical post, twice the amount of people, but discontent does go up, and it's a lot. But for now, we'll just worry about this. So we turn all our raw food into food rations. So now what I see you guys doing is you like to have everything like kind of close to the generator. But one thing I like to do is kind of have it like kind of spread out. Like have like, you don't need to shove everything inside because that takes away room for potential houses. So for now, we can actually like just put Hunter's Hut outside, because usually people who work there don't really stay in the house. They go out to hunt, which means it's fine to have these like pretty cold. So I like to count like 1. So like it's good to know that you see like these little like rectangles here. It's good to know that houses take up are like 2 tiles tall and 3 tiles long. So it's good to like do it by 2 increments, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, around that area. But I won't put it there. I'm gonna I'm gonna put it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. 4 is fine, right there. And the same can actually apply to workshops. So I should have said this before, but workshops are very, very valuable. You know, they allow you to research stuff, and I would suggest you get one down as fast as you can. So day 2, there we go. And then I'll put another one down, because when you have workshops together, they actually increase their efficiency, which means they research things faster, which is very good. Here we go. Please build this. So if everyone's working, so if everybody is working and you want something built, they won't build it until it's free time, which means when you have more and more people, it's good to have some people just kind of sitting around, so then you can have shit built. So now, yeah, they're now building it, but during the workplace they were not building it. Just law, yippee. So now that I did my thing, it's kind of up to you where you like to go. So when you guys start out, I suggest you guys get these two first. This one, I don't care too much about emergency shift. The 24-hour thing, I don't care, but it's the extended shift that's pretty good. So now we can choose what we want. I would suggest that if you're struggling a bit on food now, you get soup or food additives, but soup is the better option because it doesn't put a strain on your healthcare versus food additives. But for my scenario, I would not be doing that. I've done it without doing any of that, just regular food. So I would do radical treatment. So the difference between radical treatment and sustain life is that when you have gravely ill, like people that are really ill, if you choose sustain life, they'll just take up space in your medical post, and that fucking sucks. And I don't like that. You know, you see, like, dude, they'll be left alive for untreated medical posts, or you can do radical treatment, which they will try to treat gravely ill, but 30% of them will be left as amputees. That's okay. That's pretty much okay. I just don't want the burden on my medical post, so we're gonna assign this radical treatment. People don't really like that. Well, the hope went up, but yeah, discontent went up. Now, when you have your medical posts, not medical posts. When you have your workshop, you can research stuff, and researching things is pretty good. Again, they're subject to the work hours, but you know, extended shifts. If there's one thing if I had to choose one building to keep extended shifts on, and everything else had to be regular shifts, I would keep this extended shift because researching is very powerful. So now we can research here. So as you can see here, you can click on something, and then it will tell you what's it about to research. And it will tell you the cost of it, and then this cost down here is if you're unlocking your building, this is how much it costs to make that building. As you can see, and you can see there's multiple layers. If you research a drawing board, if you research a layer, it applies to all of these tabs. Don't worry, it won't, like, you know, if you research this on the heating tab, it won't like block you from these 3. It'll apply for everything. Now, when you start out in the very early game, 3 things I would suggest are heaters, beacons, and faster gathering, because those 3 will help you gather resource. Well, this helps you gather resources the most, and right now you're kind of gathering. Beacons allow you to build scouts, which allow you to go out into the Frostland and get resources and people. People are very helpful for, you know, workforce. And heaters. Heaters are used to heat up your houses when things get cold. Hunter's gear, you can kind of save it for a bit later. It allows you to get 20 raw food per hunt when usually it gives you like 15 when you put. Okay, I'm gonna put up. Okay, I don't have any wood, so we're just gonna choose one of these. So I'm gonna pick faster gathering. I'll get beacon later, but faster gathering would be helpful. All right, so this gathering post kind of ran out of shit to grab, so just get rid of that, and it will refund the materials, which is fine, which is good. So yeah, we'll just get rid of this because it has nothing else to grab, and we're gonna put it somewhere where it gets coal. So we'll move it up here. Resources gathering. I'll put it up here for the people because we need coal. Well, coal is important to grab. Ah, fuck. Alright. And then, yeah. So, level 1 hunter. So, just the base hunter's hut, 15 raw food per day, which. So, 70.5 times 4. So, it's like 7.5 times 4. I'm not like 30 something raw food ration. which 30 something food rations, which is not going to be able to feed everybody, but it's something. So I'll put thing here, but I need wood. So we'll just wait for people to have wood because we need a path. So you can think of paths as like the connector from your generator to your buildings. Think of it as like cables, because yeah, generator is the all-around power source, and then you build these streets, which in my definition are cables to you know, power the workplaces. Can I need 8 wood? Can you? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna build a path here. Do that. There we go. So now this will be gathering these 2 coal, which is great. It's great. Okay, I don't like the fact that this thing is doing that. Gathering post. Yeah, I should have done that earlier, but remember, you know, what's going on here. I don't know why is it the point there. Family turn apart. So yeah, so this is basically just telling you that, hey, you should consider making a beacon or researching a beacon, which is researching here. If you want, you could click here and it will tell you here on how long it's going to take, and in less than an hour. Great. So now we have faster gathering. People will gather things better, and we get more resources as a result. So now we did that. I would suggest doing heaters, which cost 10 wood. So hold up. Well, first of all, I want to connect this here to here, so that's 8 wood. There we go. But there we go. Beacon. So we have 4 people sick. So if you want to see how fast it's gonna take, so you can click on patience, and I'll tell you here how long it takes for them to recover. So 8 to 9 hours. So they'll be fine for the next shift, which is good. Introduce new law. Great. So you could go down here. I did radical treatment, which I love, but for now, I would do something about this actually. Child labor, child stuff. So this tree tackles children. Child labor. If you're in dire need of more hands, you could sign child labor, safe jobs. But for me, I like to do child shelters because that raises hope and primes you for something better, which is why I trade. So I signed this. Hold up. Go here. So since I signed child shelters, it blocks me out of the child labor law, but it went down to here, which is great. So again, it's another 2 coins of the half. Medical apprentices or engineer apprentices, I will tell you once we get to that. All right, so let's go here. Child shelters, 5 steel, 20 wood. Okay, yeah, wood. Remember, early game wood is what I'm like fucking crying about. Yep. So we put that there, and then yeah, look at that, livable. So if you ever want to check, like, just check how your buildings are, you could like click on this, and it'll tell you what your buildings are like. So comfortable, great. Cookhouse is livable, which is fine, and then all this stuff, you know, workshop, and then gathering post. Yeah, so basically the workplaces they're working at is fine, because you want that shit up and beautiful. We're doing fine for now. We're in day 3. Oh, it's about to get cold. It's gonna get cold, so it's gonna drop down by 2 levels, and you can usually say that's like this. So like 1 level, another level, so 2 levels basically. So I like to do it like that, but sometimes that doesn't always apply, because you just have a really insulated room where, like, even if it drops down by 2, it's still gonna be fine. But for now, we should probably worry about the fact about this beacon. So I'm gonna get beacon, and I'm gonna do a little thing. I'm gonna use emergency shift, just so we can get something quick out of the way. So new thing, heaters are great. Heaters, so heaters allow you to choose. So when you unlock heaters for any building that isn't residential, you could turn on the heater, and it'll make the heat level for that building go up by 1, which is great. So yeah, if you hover over 1 sick absentee, they're just sick. You know, they'll be back soon, but for now they're sick. So if they're sick, that does hamper the efficiency, which isn't great. For now, I'm going to use emergency shift, which like raises my discontent pretty badly, but it'll be great because then the engineers will be working overtime to you know, research this, which will be great before it gets too cold. Please hurry, please hurry, please hurry, please hurry, please hurry, please hurry. and then goes down by 2, but then later goes up by 1. So what I noticed in Frostpunk is like most of the time when they drop down the temperature, they like to bring it back up as like a little dip, but then they will gradually start going down. Like the average temperature will go down. So when you think of this dip, think of it as like them saying, hey, be careful, better manage your heat well. So heaters off. So now for these buildings, well, not, I guess not Hunter's Hut, but like for the workplace buildings, you can turn the heater up. You turn the heater on, which consumes coal, which can 24 coal every day. Check economy. How's our coal rations doing? We're doing fine. So I think we can sacrifice some coal. So I'm gonna turn on the heaters here, here, here. Now it didn't go up, but it will go up once. Oh, I guess the heater doesn't take up shit while it's while people aren't there. So I guess once people start working, then that's when the heaters activate or their body heat, blah blah, and that's when things go well. So we tackled the 3 things I would worry about. So I'll talk about this for now. So coal thumpers and steelworks are infinite sources of coal and steel respectively. Wood sawmills, they take advantage of these. So if you see like these little branches here, those are like frozen trees. Sawmills take advantage of that, but it's finite within your world. Think of it as like piles. So what I would suggest is if you want to get wood, you research drawing board and then research wall drill, which wall drill is great because infinite source of wood, and wood is used to create a lot of buildings. So for now, I'm gonna worry about food. Turn this 15 measly food rations into raw foods into 20 raw foods, which is great. So you can click here, beacon. So you can click. So it doesn't matter if the beacon's cold or not. Nobody stays there, so you can just like put a beacon anywhere. I'll put it here for now, and yeah. So as we see here, go to make a child shelter because that's the problem. So when you pass a law, you kind of if you pass a law that designates a building, you're kind of promising that you're gonna build that thing. So of course it's gonna pop up here, but we have the thing. So child shelters have their own installation thing, so we can put it a bit farther away from the city. We can put it here for now. It's fine. Don't worry. It got cold, so you can tell by like the cold thing around it. I'll keep playing until day 5. So now if you look here, you can see your workforce and the people prohibited from working. So children, obviously I assigned child shelter, so they cannot work. There's 15 children, and each child shelter takes up 15 people. Allows for 15 children. Look at that. We got a beacon ready. So beacons, if you click on it, you can make a scout, or you can just click up here. Scouts take up 40 wood and 5 workers. What kind of dime? So 5 workers. Where can I take 5 workers from? I'll take it from down here. So 5 workers, but we need 40 wood. So I'll put that back for now. Hunter's gear. Yippee. Oh yeah. Turn that on. Cookhouse. Yeah, it got cold. So if you click on here now, look at that. It went cold. It got cold. Okay, yeah, you can turn it on. You cannot turn it on because it's chilly, but you can turn these on. Yeah, chilly is fine. Like they get a bit sick, but not that bad. Just worry about when it gets too cold. So let's pass a new law. Overcrowding, my favorite. Extra capacity means it's twice the space. So where a medical post usually accepts 5 patients, now if you sign this into action, it allows for 10 patients. Or you can do extra rations for the ill, which is the more ethical decision. It allows you the ability to use your food rations to help people heal faster. But I love my overcrowding because more beds means more people can get sick. So I'm gonna sign that. I would suggest you guys get overcrowding because during your first playthrough things will get sick. So we're just gonna do that. Oh, look at that, it went up. Sad. We need to win. Great. Look at that coal. Yeah, you give your whole over. It told you how much of a research you have that lasts you. So we have enough coal to last us 3 days if we like randomly stop. Pretty cool. So let's look here. I would suggest you do steam hubs. Steam hubs allow you to move the heat away from the generator. So the generator is in the middle. It spreads out, but you can if you need like heat somewhere outside, because that will happen, you can just put it somewhere. So we're just gonna do this, and then I say they're going to work. All right. There we go. So that's a promise done, and hope went up. Discontent still kind of ass, but that's okay. So child shelters, that's fine, and then yeah. Look at that, he's better go up. He's gonna go up soon enough. Later things, yeah. So sometimes we do something scripted events will happen. For this one, it's just telling you that hey, thank you for creating a child shelter. Now, hope went up. Discontent's kind of still low. So we're doing fine. I'm gonna reach day 5. Like once this touches day 5, I'll end the video there. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, storage near capacity. Yep, we're at our max storage, which is 900 coal at default. So if you want to raise that, you can just go to click here. You can like get a resource depot and then just smack it right there. When we don't have any raw food, so shit. How's our raw food like? All right. I can't really set up another food thing, so fuck me, I guess. All right. Now we could do one of these things. So while sawmill is good for that early game food production, I usually don't take it. I like to like speed things, so I would suggest you get coal thumpers out of these 3 first. Coal thumpers, and then if you want, you could do drawing boards or steel works, but I would suggest you do drawing boards because again, we're at early game. We don't need to worry about steel. Here we go. Studying that. Rescue service of our own production. Okay, we should. Yep, coal is full, and we don't have people building that, so wood crates deplete. Fuck. So yeah, no gatherers, just destroy that. And then if you want to dismantle streets, you can just do that. There we go. This one's still going well. We still have this wood. We have 30 wood, so we better be careful. I really okay. There we go. We can make scouts. Scouts take up 5 workers and 40 wood. So if you want to send them out, just click on the scout, click on the icon you want them to go to, which is lost expedition. This is the first thing you should always like go to. Remember, a yellow little thing. So click, there we go, and then it's on its way, which you can tell by this number right here. Yeah. Now, once you build a resource depot, you see like this little thing. So they're gonna ask you to specify which resource you want to hold on to, or like which resource you want to add extra space to. So we're gonna go coal. There we go. You see a little icon change, like the model change. Can these 2 sick people go? So yeah, that's the basics. For now, after this, I would suggest you guys worry about wood and coal. Soon you will worry about steel, but for now the steel wreckage is good enough steel for now. But soon you'll be fine. Yeah, 5 people. Yeah. So from here on out, worry about expedition. Worry about like your scouts going to places. Worry about your gravely ill, and just worry about your food. Once the scouts come back, there'll be more people, and that means more people to feed. But that also means more people being able to work. So take it as you will. Thank you guys for listening. It's pretty. Day 5. The temperature go up by 1. If you guys have any questions, you can just ask me. Yeah. Night. So I'll save my game. I'll save it as Ben and Aidan. Alright, see you guys later.